And people say, what if I don't brand myself? What's going to happen? Well, nature abhors vacuum. Nature does not like vacuum. If you don't brand yourself, people will brand you. In fact, if you are listening now and you think you are intending to do anything that involves people, start now to build your personal brand.
Okay.
In fact, you should have started yesterday. But like the Igbos would say, whenever you wake up is your morning.
Oh, yes.
So if you are hearing me for the first time, please start building your personal brand right away.
Hello, my name is Providence. Welcome to Clockwise. Now today we're having a very interesting conversation on personal branding, and I have a special guest, someone who will be doing this conversation with me. He's not just a personal branding expert, he's an image maker, a communicationist. Now without further ado, with the resounding virtual round of applause, please welcome Etido Paul. Welcome to Clockwise.
Thank you so much, Mr. Providence.
It's actually nice seeing you.
Thank you, viewers, also.
You look like a personal brand.
I am a personal brand. I'm a brand.
Yeah, that's good. So how are you?
Very fine.
Now, let's go straight to the conversation. You see, especially now, the word personal branding has become a buzzword. So if you're to define personal branding now, what would you define personal branding to mean? And also, why do you think it is crucial for both businesses and individuals, especially in today's world?
Very, very necessary. In fact, if you are listening now and you think you are intending to do anything that involves people, start now to build your personal brand.
Okay.
In fact, you should have started yesterday. But like the Igbos would say, whenever you wake up is your morning.
Oh, yes.
So if you are hearing me for the first time, please start building your personal brand right away. So what's personal brand? That's the two words, personal and brand. So personal just has to do with humans. Image, person, me, you. That's aside.
Okay.
So now, what's branding? Even in that branding, I like to dissect the word too. So there is a brand and there is branding. Okay. So what's a brand? A brand is your image. It's your message. So let's say there is a brand on this mic.
Okay.
That is communicating a message. So when you see that image, you understand that it's communicating something.
Okay.
Branding is the processes you take to arrive at a brand.
I want that again. Branding is the process.
Brand is your message.
Okay.
Branding is the processes, the tools, the platforms that are used to arrive in communicating that brand.
Okay.
So for instance, my brand is to let people know that I'm a good man. Whatever tools I'm using, whatever communication channels I'm using, whatever platforms I'm using, those are branding, or that is branding. So the tools, the processes I'm using to arrive in communicating my message, that's branding.
Okay.
So now what's personal branding altogether? Personal branding is giving people a perception of you.
Oh.
Yes. So I like saying perception is reality. Perception is the way people see you, but first it starts from how you have sold yourself to them. And again, it takes us to the question, what's the difference between branding and marketing? So marketing is what you say about yourself. Branding is what people say about you as a result of what you say about yourself first. So I tell you what to say about me.
So marketing precedes branding.
That's true. So I brand myself internally. I sell that message to you. That's marketing.
Okay.
In return, whatever you're doing, that's me having a personal brand. So whatever you know me for, I've been able to sell that position first of all to you. Then in return, when you return that message to me and to others, that's branding. So marketing is what I say about myself. Branding is what people say about me. So you must not necessarily say that to me. You can also say it to other people. But again, it brings us to the question of perception. You see, when we say perception is reality, people feel that it's about fake life. No, it's not. Perception is giving people a view of you. And it's very important because if you cannot sell your message, nobody's going to sell it for you. You must first of all be the originator and the bigger salesperson of your person. So even if you are a good man and I think you are a bad man, that is my reality. And I'm going to treat you the way I see you.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a group and it happens that they say, okay, who should take care of our money? Yeah. And everybody unanimously say this person. Yeah. Now, whether that person is good or not, they have been able to build a perception of him or her for themselves. Or the person may have intentionally or unintentionally built that perception. That perception is now their reality. They are treating you based on their own perception of you, not necessarily who you are. So perception is reality. In fact, in the market world, perception is more real than reality. If you sell a product and the product can save people life, or the product can give oxygen, but the people don't believe so, to them, that your product cannot save anybody. So perception is reality. What branding helps you do is to sell a perception of you to the market. So you see how necessary it is for everybody to be able to brand. And people say, what if I don't brand myself? What's going to happen? Well, nature abhors vacuum. Nature does not like vacuum. If you don't brand yourself, people will brand you.
Whatever they want to.
So if you've been in a church and you see people say, that man that used to wear red tie. So they have been able to, people don't like to be in a place that they can't place a name on something. So they would always find a name to define you. So if people would always find a name to give to you, why don't you give yourself a name first? So see what branding has done. It saves you from people calling you a name you don't want. It gives you the opportunity to give people a name that you want to be called.
Powerful. Now, from your years as a personal branding specialist, what are those common mistakes you've observed that people actually make when trying to build a personal brand for themselves?
Fake life. Fake life.
What? Okay.
When you are when the image of you are trying to sell, whether online or not, doesn't correlate with who you are in reality. It may benefit you in a short while, but in a long term, it's going to speak against you. Your life you are selling must correlate with who you are truly. So when I have clients for personal branding, the first thing I try to do before you sell a message outside, I want you to believe in the message you want to send.
Okay.
Before you sell the message, I want you to believe in that message. You must be the first believer of you. You must be the first believer of you. People don't buy products. They buy brands. They buy into you first before they buy anything you sell. If I carry a product to sell, let me say I just go online now and I say I have this product to sell. People are going to buy not necessarily because of the product. They're buying because of the person behind the product. If someone like maybe people let me use VDM. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention brands, but I mean this podcast. Let me use VDM. He takes the same products online to his audience and say, guys, I not too sure for this product, but I don't buy them. Be like see work, when I just buy them. You get people are going to jump on that product not because the product is good, but because VDM says it's so. So that's the power of branding. If you have a fake life consistently and people cannot correlate that life with their real life, just see what it's going to do to your brand or to whatever you're going to represent. So I think that's one of the common mistakes that people do. Just no matter how difficult it is, don't dabble into fake life. Whatever you say you are, even if you are not yet, walk behind to become that person.
Okay.
Yeah. If you say you are the best in something, don't sleep until you become that best.
So now, how do you balance being authentic and also curating an online image?
That's why I started first by saying branding is about your message. So what's your message? What's your message? That's where the authenticity is. You must have your message. Nobody can sell your message for you. You must have your message. So what's your message? Always, that's the question I ask any other person. Okay. What's your message? What do you want? Sit back. Everybody has a message. Trust me, everybody has a message. The moment you want to dabble into saying another person's message, that's where you fall. Everybody has a message. And that message is going to determine your platform and your audience. I think maybe into the conversation we are going to talk about that.
All right. Now, let's assume you were to consult for somebody who is in an overcrowded market. When I mean overcrowded, I mean somebody whose niche of interest is oversaturated. What would be your recommendation to the person towards personal branding that will actually make the person to stand out, to be differentiated, to drag the attention? What would you recommend to the person?
Create a niche in your niche.
Okay.
Let me say differently. Create a niche in your industry. Let me use a photographer, for instance. You know, almost every photographer says, I want to be the best photographer. What does that even mean? Because that industry is already almost oversaturated.
Yeah.
And there is a guy I know online that he used to advise other photographers on how to charge high. And some of them still come back to the comment and complain. I mean, this thing is not working. This thing is not working.
Okay.
And I just laugh. I said, Kai, man, these guys are missing it. You cannot be the best photographer, but you can be the best wedding photographer. Okay. You can be the best portrait photographer.
Birthday photographer.
You can be the best children photographer.
Okay.
You can be the best infant photographer. I have a guy. He is so good with children, but if you take him out of that niche, he may fail. So he has created a niche for himself. When people want to snap their children from 0 to 5 years, they come to him. And if you see his photos, oh my God, you can't not fall in love with it. So you see, that's already an almost oversaturated industry. So you have to find a way to create a niche out of it. Just even if you say you are a singer, you can't just be the best singer. You can be the best Afrobeat singer. You can be the best Makossa singer.
Yeah.
You can be the best R&B singer. That's how people like R. Kelly has created a niche for themselves. Boys to Men. That's how we knew them. They have not done everything or every kind of music. They just created a niche, which is R&B. When you want to listen to love songs, you know where to go to. When you want to listen to gospel songs, you know where to go to. When you want to listen to Afrobeat, you know where to go to. So it's better that you can create a niche out of your niche, and that's the best thing you can do. Researchers says that the first and the second person in an industry always gets the larger share.
Yeah.
While other people are struggling, you have caught the whole share already. So just create a niche. You can even say, just like the example of the photographer I gave, you can say, I just want to focus on portrait.
Okay.
If you want to do portrait, come to me. And that is going to define the kind of trainings you give to yourself. You are not just getting a general training. You are now specializing in portraits. So when people want to have official portrait, they come to you. I mean,
you sold something.
I'm giving a lot already. Yeah.
All right. Now, if, for instance, now you were to give, let's say, 3 actionables steps to someone, let's say anyone who wants to start personal branding from scratch, what would be those steps, those actions? Like
I used to say to my client, have a message, define your audience, and create the platform.
Have a message, define your
Have a message, define
your
audience, and create the platform.
So consistency will not before.
You know, I have an issue with consistency.
What issue?
When people talk about consistency, I have an issue with consistency. When you set systems around yourself, you'll be consistent.
Okay.
A child that wakes up in the morning and knows he has to go to school is consistent. You don't feel like going to, you just go to school. A church has a system. If there is a church around you, even in your village, this is almost approaching the festive period. When you reach the village, you don't have to ask people, that church, is it still there? You just know that the church, even if it's 10 years, even if it's some decades away, that church is still there. Why? There is a system around the church environment, around the church industry, that every Sunday, no matter what, people will gather. That's a system. So if you can create a system around your brand, you'll be consistent. But first of all, for me, I would say, just define your message, first of all. That message is going to define your audience.
Okay.
It is the message that defines your audience. Then your audience will now determine the platform to meet them. For instance, if I say, I want to talk to the teens, the Gen Zs. Okay, let me say I have a message already. Maybe how to avoid unwanted pregnancy. That will apply to a lot of people. That already defines my audience.
Yeah.
It will not be to go to the married. It will be to the singles. Now, where are the Gen Zs? Of course, TikTok. You see, my message defines my audience defines my platform.
Yeah.
So that's the three thing I would say. Every other thing, you can use your own dynamics, how it works, what works for you. To make sense. But for me, those are the three things I would strongly recommend for anyone.
Now, you know that there are some persons that are introverts. They have a problem with personal selling. So what will you tell them to do if they want to involve themselves in personal branding?
What do you call introvert?
That they don't like selling themselves. They don't like talking about them. So they see it as something that they can't do. So how would they create a brand without stepping too far away from their comfort zone?
You see, I have people come to me and they say, I'm camera shy. I'm like, oh wow. So we are the ones that are born with cameras. Now me born with a camera. When they gave birth to me, I appear in front of a camera. All of us have never done this before.
Yeah.
We've never done this before. But necessity has come upon us. You are in the 21st century. You need to understand what is necessary and what you wish. You don't do what you wish in the 21st century. And again, I like to tell Nigerian youth, in Nigeria, we know they select food. You don't say, I don't like this. No.
When you're hungry, you're going to eat.
You are in Nigeria. You don't select food. You must do everything. If they say you must be on camera, and be on camera, what do you call? If I travel to, let's say, Canada, let me use Canada as a very prevalent place, very popular. You know, whenever anything happens in Nigeria, one place is always very popular on Twitter, Canada, because it's like everybody wants to run to Canada. So if I go to Canada and I was able to secure a 30-day visa, upon the expiration of that 30 days, maybe on the 28th day or 29th day, I find a very lovely girl that I want to date. And she says, oh, man, let's go for a date. And the next day is supposed to be the expiration of my stay there. Then I call the immigration officer and I'm like, sir, this is the dilemma I'm in. I have a lady I need to take for a dinner and I have to renew my stay here. Which one should I do? At that point, what I want to do is suspended. I have to do what is necessary. So sometimes you have to go beyond what you want to do to
And
what is necessary.
Yeah.
If I take the girl for a dinner, after the dinner, I would either be deported, I will be bundled out of Canada,
Yeah.
or I can say, lady, wait,
Mm.
let me renew my visa, then we can talk about the dates.
Mm.
So you see, I've now transcended beyond what I would want to do or what I feel like doing to what is necessary. In the same vein too, when you are talking about, say you are introvert, we understand. We all have those physical restraints
Mm.
for ourselves.
Yeah.
Those internal choices we may want to make. Personally, I wouldn't even want to be in front of the camera. I've always been the guy that is behind the camera all my life. In the church, I've always been behind the studio. In the music department, I've always taught the song. When the choir is singing, I'm behind. When I'm coming to the media, I've always been behind. But again, I have to ask myself, the people that are cashing out are not behind the cameras all the time. I mean, sometimes for you to be believable, you have to
be seen.
you have to be seen. So that takes away the place of being an introvert. You need to do what is necessary. You need to do what's necessary. You are in the 21st century. Please suspend that introverts. I don't even understand who
Who is an introvert?
who classified us into all these introvert, extrovert. Just do what's necessary. So you can bring your personality into what you are doing. It does not mean you are. You don't have to. Everybody has to build a personal brand, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert.
What is the place of controversy in branding?
I think where people lack in that result, or what people do that result in that is a lack of proper brand communication. Brand communication is choosing the platforms and the tools to communicate your message properly. So where there is controversy is when whoever is communicating that brand does not know the right choices of words, the platforms, the mannerism. I was watching a very funny video, and it was a training I attended some months ago, still on branding, and the man, it was a company, so they have selected someone that does not know how to use his hand to communicate. So he was doing like this, and the boss told him, "What are you doing? It's like you're praising someone's boss." And of course, that was what it appeared like. So that's also what brings controversies in some brand communications. When, you see, even the choice of your hands, even the choice of clothes, it communicates something. Someone like Tony Olumelu, what does he do? That guy knows how to communicate his brand badly. He knows that for people to believe him, he has to be seen. Everywhere he goes with his camera guy. Every single way he goes. If the camera guy cannot be with him, he finds someone that can do the same work. What is he trying to do? He's telling you, hey, if you bring your money to me, I'm not running. I've told you wherever I am. I'm in Dubai, I let you know. I'm in Saudi Arabia, I let you know. I am mixing up with people of different ethnicity, tribe, religion. It means people of different tribe, ethnicity, and religion can also bring your money to me. You know, he doesn't just have a bank. He have an insurance company. And that also speaks about trust. Let me use the football to communicate something about brand communication. Ronaldo came to Man United about 3 seasons ago. When he came, he met a new coach. And the style of the new coach was quite different from what he is known for. Ronaldo, as at the time, was about 36 years. You cannot expect a 36-year striker to be in front, to strike, hustle for the ball, and still fall back to defend. That was the style of Ten Hag. Yeah, Ten Hag, that just left. So that brought a little bit of controversy now. So Ronaldo was now benched. Do you know what it means to bench the world best? I mean, that was a slap on him, on his fans, and the whole football community. So Ronaldo knew his time to leave there his time in Man United was over.
Yeah.
But now, see where brand communication comes in. How would he communicate this? He knew if he goes to tell the club, his fans will not take him very as a credible guy. He's a legend in Man United, so he has to protect that interest as well. But he knew he needed to leave. Now, what happened? Ronaldo quickly granted an interview with, I think, Piers Morgan. And he knew that whatever he's going to say, the man is going to escalate the thing. And that's how Ronaldo left Man United. So what did he do? He granted an interview. The man escalated. Man United were angry. Why would you? We terminate your contract. No problem. I can go. That's brand communication. Ronaldo never left Man United. Man United asked him to leave.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the mode of communicating your brand, the mode of communicating your message also could raise that controversy or even kill it.
Is it easy for somebody to actually change brand communication? Let's say, for instance, now I was into clothing and I have this brand image of being somebody that actually sell clothes, and I want to change to start selling electronics. How is it easy for me to transcend from selling clothes to selling electronics?
That is a little bit difficult because I tell people branding is not as difficult as rebranding. When you are branding, you are building. When you are rebranding, you are pulling down to build. The same thing like a house. When you're building, it's quite easy. But you see, when you want to renovate, because you are renovating with you inside the house. So there will be some sort of discomfort, inconvenience, both to the worker and to you staying. The same thing with branding too. Because you are not building from scratch. You are shifting yourself away to a place to communicate something that was not there before. But again, personal branding is not about the product. It's about you.
Okay.
You are the product here. So I believe you must have raised the bar to a certain point. So people had believed that whatever you bring is accepted by us.
So you have to be conscious of not just branding your business or branding yourself.
That's what I'm saying. You see, people don't buy product. They buy the person behind the product.
Okay.
This is 21st century. People want to relate to people. People don't want to relate with inanimate objects. It's why do you think Dangote would be building a refinery and is all over the news? Why? He could have done that without necessarily telling anybody. Of course he would have. He doesn't need us to go to talk to the government, and the government says every marketer buy from Dangote. But he has to bring it to the
public.
Yeah, because people want to relate with people. People don't want to relate with services. That's why you see any bank that has a very good customer service support system wins.
Yeah.
People want, if anything happens to my bank, who can I call? That's what people want. So no matter how much you digitalize, there should be that human behind the brand. That's what actually people buy into. So I tell people that people buy into you first before they buy into whatever you sell. If you are not buyable, your product will suffer. So people buy into you first before they buy into whatever you sell. I don't care whatever you sell. People buy into you first before they buy. That's why you see some companies now, whenever they want to run their ads, they don't just do some inanimate objects. They bring someone using the products. So, and they don't just bring any kind of person. They bring someone that people believe, someone that has credibility to their audience. So they say, sir, we believe that you have a particular audience. Why don't you sell this product to your audience? So, and the person goes, even the people that do skits, the people that do skits, when they do small skit, they will say, if you click into this and this and this, thank you. So now people are clicking because this person says so, not necessarily because they like it. When they go, and that's where you can now prove your credibility as someone that sells.
Okay. Now, that's a very nice path to actually end the show today. So let me hear. Let me hear your final words. I think I'll bring you again for us to do more in-depth analysis. But for now, let me hear your final words concerning branding.
My final words concerning branding and personal branding is try as much as possible to have a global brand. By global brand, I don't just mean coming on Facebook and being on social media. No. Your brand must pass the test of universality. Whatever you are doing in your locality, if they take you out of that city right now, this moment, can it still survive? So whatever determines the size of your pockets, can it pass the test of universality? Let's say, even if it's idea, this thing I'm saying now, can it be applicable to someone outside the environs of this place?
Okay.
Can it be applicable to someone in UK? Can it be applicable to someone in Canada? Can it be applicable to someone in Saudi Arabia? If it doesn't, it can just be relevant in your locality, but it doesn't pass the test of universality. Secondly, try and make your brand a threat.
Okay. To other competitors.
Make your brand a threat to other competitors. Something happened. Let me use the football story to end. There is a football manager called Arsene Wenger. He is considered one of the oldest managers in Premier League. He stayed in Arsenal for 22 years. I think since 1996 till 2018. He played about 820 and something games. When he wanted to leave, on the final day he was to leave, coincidentally, the last match he was to coach was in Old Trafford, that's Manchester United Stadium. The fans displayed his name on a billboard, on a placard, on banners. Even the coaches of Man United, then it was even Jose Mourinho that was the coach, gave him an award. Sir Alex Ferguson gave him an award. That's the former Manchester United. So everybody celebrated him. Now, don't forget, this is someone that was almost in fierce competition with Sir Alex and Jose Mourinho. And the journalist asked something. He said, Arsene Wenger, what happened that the people that were almost at loggerhead with you are now celebrating you on your departure? He said something. He said, everyone loves you when you are not a threat. When he was the coach, he was a threat to both Man U to every other person. Now he's departing, everybody loves you. So if everybody loves your brand, you are not a threat. And by threat, what do I mean? You see, when people cannot think of you and rethink of launching a product because you are in that industry, you are not a threat. People should rethink of launching the same product you are doing because you are in that industry. There is a musical concert happening in our city on Friday. 2 big gospel musical concerts happening in this city. One is free. One is a ticketed event. Now, about 2 weeks ago, someone came online and write, why would so person fix his concert when he knows that this other person has it? And I was looking at it from a branding perspective. This same thing I'm talking about. And in my mind, I was like, oh, wow, I know the one I'm going to attend. But I was like, the person that will take the more crowd is the threat in this industry. I'm not saying the other person will not get I mean, he will. But trust me, and it's happening the same time. The same venue, almost the same content. It's still gospel music now, right? So what I'm trying to say is, has someone tried to fix a program and hears by rumor that you have a particular program on that date and shift his own, then you are a threat. When Davido wanted to marry, people suspended launching their tracks, their EPs, their singles. Why? He wasn't releasing any track. He was just getting married. But people knew that all eyes on the media, everybody is going to be focused on one person. That's a global brand. That's a threat. But if everybody just pushes you away, I mean, who is this? I mean, please, let's just... People should hear your name and shrink. People should hear your name and reconsider whatever they want to do in the industry. People should know that you are in a particular industry, and they reconsider. That's when you can say you are a threat. So whatever brand you are building, build your brand to that point that you become a threat to other competitors in the industry.
That's a very nice path. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much, sir.
I think I'll bring you again.
I know.
Like, on that note, we'll come to the end of today's episode of Clockwise. Now, do not forget to like, subscribe, and put on a notification bell on this channel, because we bring amazing content every week. And also, do not forget that the elite of the 21st century are not those who did not go to school or those who will not go to school, but are those who have refused to evolve as their environment is evolving. My name is Providence. See you again.